Commander Gork gazed through the observation port of the Galactic Dominion flagship, Celestial Conqueror, his three violet eyes blinking in sequence as Earth came into view. What an underwhelming little blue marble. He flicked his translucent tentacle dismissively, sending droplets of bioluminescent fluid splattering across Lieutenant Kraz's datapad. Careful, Commander. Kraz wiped the screen with his secondary appendage. These reports took 7 cycles to compile. Oh, please. Gork rolled all 3 eyes simultaneously. As if I care about your precious reports when we are about to make history. Today, the Dominion adds another primitive species to our collection. The bridge of the Celestial Conqueror hummed with anticipation. 200 of the galaxy's most advanced beings, all members of the proud Zorlaxian race, monitored screens, adjusted dials, and prepared for humanity's subjugation. The ship itself, a marvel of engineering resembling a massive, glittering octopus, hovered just beyond Earth's detection range. Remind me again, Gork said, scratching on his gill slits, why we chose this backwater planet. There must be more advanced civilizations worthy of our attention. Admiral Plex, the oldest and most decorated officer on board, glided forward. Her skin shimmered with the pale green hue of wisdom. The humans have potential, Commander. Despite their primitive technology, they have shown remarkable adaptability. Their internet alone contains more information than the libraries of Proxima Centauri. Their internet. Gork snorted, releasing a cloud of spores that made a nearby ensign sneeze violently. A chaotic mess of cat videos and conspiracy theories. Hardly the mark of an advanced species. Nevertheless, Plex continued patiently. High Council believes they could be valuable additions to the Dominion. With proper guidance, of course. Gork floated to his command chair, a hovering crystalline structure that adjusted to his constantly shifting anatomy. Well, let's get on with it then. Prepare the announcement broadcast. All frequencies, all languages. I want every human device, from their primitive smartphones to their laughable supercomputers, to receive our message. Lieutenant Kraz nodded nervously. Broadcast ready, sir. Though I should mention, our cultural analysis suggests humans might not respond well to... Did I ask for your opinion, Lieutenant? Gork interrupted, his voice dripping with more sarcasm than his lower tentacles dripped with natural lubricant. Just send the message. With a reluctant tap, Kraz activated the broadcast. Across Earth, screens flickered. Phones buzzed. Radios crackled. Television broadcasts interrupted regular programming. And everywhere, the imposing image of Commander Gork appeared. A 7-foot-tall, semi-translucent being with pulsating internal organs and a face that seemed constantly rearranging itself. People of Earth, Gork announced, his voice translated into every human language simultaneously. I am Commander Gork of the Galactic Dominion. Your planet has been selected for immediate integration into our empire. Resistance is, well, not impossible, but definitely inadvisable and would result in considerable unpleasantness for all involved. Your technology is primitive, your social structure is quaint, and your understanding of the universe laughably limited. However, we have graciously decided to elevate your species to serve the Dominion. You are welcome. He paused dramatically, expecting gasps of fear or awe. Your world leaders have 24 Earth hours to surrender control. At that time, we will begin the integration process. Again, you're welcome. In transmission, the broadcast cut off, and Gork settled back in his chair with a satisfied gurgle. And now, we wait for their panicked response. Admiral Plex drifted closer. Perhaps we should prepare for various human reactions? The cultural analysis team suggests they might be. Unpredictable. Nonsense. Gork waved a tentacle dismissively. They will follow the same pattern as every other level 3 civilization we have encountered. First panic, then desperate attempts at communication, followed by futile military response, and finally, surrender. It's practically a universal constant. If you say so, Commander. Plex didn't sound convinced. Exactly 17 minutes later, Lieutenant Kraz's console lit up like a Perseid meteor shower. Commander, we are receiving a response from Earth. Gork straightened, his central spine elongating with interest. Already? That was faster than expected. Put it on the main screen. Let's see their terrified faces. The massive view screen flickered to life, showing a young human female with purple hair, sitting in what appeared to be a small, cluttered room. She was wearing a t-shirt with the incomprehensible text. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was definitely aliens. Hi there, space. People. She waved casually. I'm Skylar Chun, streaming live from my apartment in Portland. Quick question before we get to the whole surrender thing. What's your Wi-Fi password? Gork blinked, all three eyes in sequence. What? Your Wi-Fi, Skylar repeated, adjusting her camera. Look, if you guys have mastered interstellar travel, you must have some seriously amazing internet speeds. My current provider is garbage, and I'm in the middle of downloading the new Cosmic Warfare expansion pack. So, any chance I could piggyback on your connection? The bridge fell silent. 200 highly trained Zerlaxian officers stared at the screen in disbelief. Is this some kind of joke? Gork finally sputtered, his skin turning an angry orange. We are the Galactic Dominion. We have conquered 17 star systems. Our technology is millennia beyond your comprehension. Cool, cool, Skylar nodded, seemingly unfazed. So that's a no on the Wi-Fi? Because my stream viewers are really curious. Oh, by the way, you're trending on like every platform right now. The memes are already insane. People are calling you Squidward's angry cousin. What? Gork roared, causing the liquid in his environment suit to boil slightly. Cut this transmission immediately. This is clearly not an official Earth response. Lieutenant Kraz nervously tapped his console. Actually, sir, we are now receiving thousands of similar transmissions. It seems humans are individually responding. That's not the protocol. Gork protested. They're supposed to gather their leaders, debate futilely, and then attempt diplomatic contact. The screen split into multiple sections, each showing different humans from around the planet. Hey, alien dudes, can you fix the climate crisis while you are here? Asked an Australian man. Will you be providing healthcare in this Dominion thing? Because my insurance is terrible, inquired an American woman. Are you single? Asking for a friend, questioned a smirking Brazilian teenager. Can you abduct my neighbor? His dog barks all night, requested an elderly Japanese man. Gork slumped in his chair, momentarily speechless. This was not how first contact was supposed to go. Admiral Plex glided to his side, her expression unreadable, as was typical for Zerlaxians, whose faces consisted primarily of shifting patterns rather than fixed features. Commander, I believe the humans are employing a psychological tactic. By responding with humor and trivial questions, they are attempting to undermine our authority. Gork straightened. Yes, of course. A primitive but clever approach. Well, two can play at that game. Lieutenant Kraz, prepare a second broadcast. I will show these humans the error of their ways. Before Kraz could comply, the main screen changed again. Now it showed a disheveled man in what appeared to be official Earth clothing, a suit, according to the cultural database. Greetings, Commander Gork. I'm Dr. Ray Patel, appointed by the United Nations as first contact spokesperson. The man looked like he had been hastily awakened and thrust in front of the camera. We would like to formally welcome you to Earth's vicinity and request a proper diplomatic meeting to discuss your proposal. Finally, Gork exclaimed, a reasonable response. Yes, Dr. Patel, we can arrange a meeting. You will, of course, need to come aboard our vessel. Dr. Patel smiled nervously. We were hoping you might send representatives to Earth. We have prepared a suitable facility in Geneva and... Absolutely not, Gork interrupted. The commanding species does not accommodate the subject species. That's basic Dominion protocol. I see. Dr. Patel nodded slowly. In that case, we will need some time to select and prepare our representatives. You have 6 hours, Gork stated firmly. And no tricks. Any sign of weapons or technology beyond your current capabilities will be considered an act of aggression. Understood. Dr. Patel hesitated. One small request, though. Would it be possible to bring our own food and water? We have, specific dietary requirements. Fine. Gork waved dismissively. But everything will be scanned. After the transmission ended, Admiral Plex approached again. Commander, are you certain this is wise? Allowing humans aboard so quickly. Do you have a better suggestion, Admiral? Gork's skin pulsed with annoyance. We need to establish dominance immediately. Once their representatives see our technology, they will understand resistance is pointless. As you wish. Plex drifted away, her bioluminescent patterns expressing doubt. 6 hours later, the Celestial Conqueror's docking bay prepared to receive the human delegation. Gork had arranged an impressive welcome. 2 rows of armed guards, hovering light orbs programmed to create an intimidating atmosphere, an especially adjusted environmental chamber to accommodate Earth biology while still demonstrating Zorlaxian superiority. Their shuttle is approaching, Lieutenant Kraz announced. Primitive design, but functional. Scans detect 7 human life forms, various organic materials, and simple electronic devices. Nothing threatening. Excellent. Gork straightened his ceremonial tendrils. Remember, everyone, look intimidating but not actively hostile. We want them awed, not terrified. The Earth shuttle docked with a clumsy thud that made several Zorlaxian officers wince. After a series of hisses and clanks, the airlock opened to reveal the human delegation to Dr. Tell led the group, looking slightly green. Whether from the shuttle journey or from meeting aliens face-to-face was unclear. Behind him came 6 others. A tall woman in military uniform, an elderly man with a wispy white beard, a younger woman clutching a tablet, 2 serious-looking men in identical black suits, and a teenage boy wearing a t-shirt that read, "ET phone home." "What is that doing here?" Gork demanded, pointing a quivering tentacle at the teenager doctor. Patel cleared his throat. "Commander, allow me to introduce our delegation. General Lynn Martinez of the United Nations Peacekeeping Force, Professor Hiroshi Takeda of the International Astronomical Society, Dr. Amara Okafor, xenobiologist, Agent Smith and Jones of the Global Security Council, and Noah Wells, civilian consultant." The teenager, Noah, stepped forward with a confidence that Gork found immediately irritating. "Sup, Commander Squidward? This ship is lit. Do you guys have a food court?" "No," Dr. Patel hissed. "We discussed this. It's cool, Ray," Noah shrugged. "I'm just breaking the ice. Aliens love that, right?" Gork's skin cycled through several colors before settling on a diplomatic purple. "Dr. Patel, please explain why you have brought an immature human to this historic meeting." Before Patel could answer, Admiral Plex glided forward. "Actually, Commander, this might be informative. In many Earth cultures, the inclusion of youth represents a gesture of trust. It could be their way of showing peaceful intentions." Noah grinned at Plex. "I like this one. She gets it." He corrected Plex, though without apparent offense. "Zorlaxians have 17 distinct genetic expressions, but the closest human translation for my particular configuration would be male." "My bad." Noah nodded respectfully. Gork fought the urge to eject everyone out of the nearest airlock. "Let's proceed to the conference chamber. We have much to discuss regarding Earth's integration into the Dominion." As they walked through the ship's luminescent corridors, Gork noticed the humans staring in wonder at everything. The living metal walls that pulsated gently, the gravity-defying water features, the holographic signs displaying Zorlaxian script that rearranged itself continuously. "Your technology is impressive," General Martinez admitted reluctantly. "Of course it is," Gork replied smugly. "The Dominion has existed for over 20,000 of your Earth years. We mastered faster-than-light travel when humans were still figuring out agriculture. Yet you still use Wi-Fi, right?" Noah asked innocently. "Because seriously, that's what everyone on Earth wants to know." Dr. Okafor quickly intervened. "Please excuse Noah. What he means is, we are curious about your communications technology." They entered the conference chamber, a vast, dome-shaped room with a circular table that seemed to be made of flowing liquid metal. Around it floated several chair-like structures that adjusted automatically to each occupant's physiology. As the humans cautiously took their seats, Gork positioned himself at what was clearly the head of the table. "Now then," he began, "let's discuss the terms of Earth surrender." "Question," interrupted Noah, raising his hand like a student in class. "What exactly does Earth get out of this Dominion deal? Like, are there benefits? Healthcare? Free college? Space travel?" Gork blinked in surprise. "You get the privilege of being part of the most advanced civilization in this sector of the galaxy. Your technology will be upgraded, your societal inefficiencies corrected, and your more promising individuals might eventually earn limited citizenship." "Limited citizenship." General Martinez's eyes narrowed. "And what does that entail?" Details can be worked out later, Gork said dismissively. The important thing is that resistance would be futile and unnecessarily destructive. Professor Takeda leaned forward, his aged hands trembling slightly. Commander, with all due respect, humanity has a long history of resisting occupation, regardless of technological disadvantage. Perhaps a mutually beneficial alliance would be more productive than conquest. Gork laughed, a sound like bubbling liquid. Alliance? Between Zerlaxians and humans? That would be like a smartphone forming an alliance with an abacus? Noah suggested helpfully. Precisely. Gork agreed before realizing he was being mocked. His skin darkened to a dangerous crimson. Listem grafi humans. This is not a negotiation. The Dominion has selected Earth for integration. The process will begin in 18 hours. Your only choice is whether it happens peacefully or not. The atmosphere in the room tensed. The two agents in black suits exchanged glances. General Martinez's hand moved slightly closer to her hip, though she carried no visible weapon. And then Noah spoke again. But seriously, though, about that Wi-Fi password. And that's when everything went sideways that a series of alarms suddenly blared throughout the Celestial Conqueror. The liquid metal table rippled violently, and the ship lurched to one side, sending several Zerlaxian officers sliding across the conference room floor. What is happening? Gork demanded, his tentacles flailing as he struggled to maintain his dignified posture. Lieutenant Kraz burst into the conference room, his normally pale blue skin now a panicked lavender. Commander, we have a situation. Earth's communication networks are attacking us. Attacking? That's impossible. Gork sputtered. Their technology is primitive. They can barely manage interplanetary travel. Dr. Patel cleared his throat. About that, we may have understated certain aspects of our technological capabilities. On cue, Noah pulled out what appeared to be his simple smartphone. Remember how I kept asking about your Wi-Fi? Well, while you were busy being condescending, I connected to your ship's network. He grinned broadly. Turns out your super advanced alien security has the same vulnerability as most Earth systems. It accepts default credentials if you ask nicely enough. Admiral Plex glided swiftly to Gork's side. Commander, the human is correct. Something has penetrated our quantum firewalls. System after system is being compromised. The ship lurched again. The lights flickered between alarming shades of red and purple. Impossible. Gork's voice rose several octaves. Our technology is millennia beyond theirs. True. Noah nodded, still tapping away at his device. But you guys made the classic mistake of advanced civilizations. You built on legacy systems. Your basic programming architecture was established thousands of years ago and never fundamentally revised, just patched and updated. You have got like the alien equivalent of Windows 95 running underneath all that fancy quantum stuff. Professor Takeda smiled gently. We have been studying your transmissions for decades, Commander. Your ship's design was particularly interesting to our cryptographers. But your cultural database, Gork protested, his skin cycling through patterns of confusion and outrage. All our intel suggested Earth was divided, technologically inconsistent. General Martinez stood up, suddenly looking much more confident. Oh, we are divided. Chaotically, frustratingly divided. But we have found that when faced with potential alien invasions, we tend to set aside our differences rather quickly. Especially, added Dr. Okafor, when those aliens announce their superiority quite so arrogantly. Another violent shudder ran through the ship. The conference room doors slid open and closed repeatedly, as if caught in some digital hiccup. Lieutenant Kraz was practically vibrating with panic. Commander, we are losing control of navigation, life support, and... Oh no, the artificial gravity is right on cue. Everyone in the room suddenly lifted about 3 feet off the floor. The humans seemed prepared, grabbing onto strategically placed handholds that had seemed like mere decorative elements moments before. The Zerlaxians, however, began drifting in all directions, their tentacles waving uselessly in a zero-G environment. What exactly do you want? Gork demanded, trying to maintain some dignity while slowly rotating upside down. Noah, somehow managing to look completely comfortable floating in midair, replied, First, you're going to cancel that whole Earth surrenders in 18 hours thing. Second, we're going to have a real conversation about cultural exchange, not conquest. Third, he hesitated dramatically. You are actually going to give us your Wi-Fi password. This is outrageous. Gork sputtered. The Dominion does not negotiate with Commander, interrupted Admiral Plex, who had managed to anchor himself to a wall fixture. Perhaps we should consider their terms. The Council would not be pleased if we lost the flagship due to unexpected resistance. Before Gork could respond, the ship's main communication system activated. A holographic image appeared in the center of the room. A different human, this one an older woman with silver hair and an air of absolute authority. Greetings, Commander Gork. I am Secretary General Olivia Zhao of the United Nations. I see you have met our advance team. Gork gaped at the hologram. How are you accessing our secure communication channels? Zhao smiled thinly. As Noah has demonstrated, your security isn't quite as impenetrable as you believed. Now, shall we discuss terms of contact between our civilizations? Terms that don't involve words like surrender or subjugation? With as much dignity as he could muster while floating upside down, Gork replied, the Dominion has never retreated from a planned integration. There's a first time for everything, Zhao has said calmly. And I don't believe we are asking you to retreat. We are inviting you to reassess. A tense silence filled the room, broken only by the occasional squish of a Zorlaxian bumping into a wall or ceiling. Finally, Admiral Plex spoke. Commander, if I may, the High Council's directive was to expand the Dominion's influence, not specifically to conquer. A cultural exchange might fulfill our mission parameters while avoiding unnecessary conflict. Gork's skin slowly shifted from angry red to a more contemplative purple. And if we refuse? Noah held up his phone again. Then I continue the system override I have started. Next up is temperature control. How do Zorlaxians feel about extreme heat? Or extreme cold? I haven't decided which button to press yet. You wouldn't, Gork challenged, though with noticeably less confidence. Try me, squid face. Noah replied with a grin that suggested he absolutely would. Suddenly, the ship's gravity returned, dropping everyone unceremoniously to the floor. Gork landed with a particularly undignified splat. Oops, Noah said, not sounding sorry at all. Fingers slipped. Dr. Patel helped Gork up with surprising gentleness. Commander, we genuinely believe a peaceful exchange would benefit both our species. Humans have a saying, come as tourists, not conquerors, and you will see the best of any world. Gork looked around at his crew, most of whom were giving him looks that clearly said, please don't get us all killed over this. He then looked at the humans, who maintained an infuriating calmness despite being aboard an alien vessel supposedly far beyond their technological understanding. Fine, he finally said, deflating slightly, literally, as Zorlaxians tended to lose some body pressure when conceding a point. I will contact the High Council and suggest alternative approaches to Earth integration. Excellent. Secretary General Zhao's hologram clapped her hands once. As a gesture of goodwill, perhaps you'd allow our team to remain aboard as guests. Cultural exchange can begin immediately. And maybe a tour. Noah added hopefully. I have always wanted to see how alien propulsion systems work. Don't push it, kid. General Martinez muttered. 3 days later, Commander Gork stood in the observation lounge, watching Earth rotate slowly below. The blue planet looked different to him now. Less like a conquest target and more like a complex, bewildering puzzle. Admiral Plex glided to his side. The High Council has responded, Commander. Gork sighed, releasing a small cloud of spores. Let me guess. They are furious that I have failed to subjugate a primitive world. Actually, Plex said, his skin patterns showing genuine surprise. They are intrigued. It seems the humans have simultaneously contacted 17 other Dominion outposts across the galaxy. They've been busy while we were focused on our grand entrance. 17. Gork's center eye widened dramatically. How did they even locate our outposts? Apparently, Earth has been monitoring deep space transmissions for decades. Their distributed computing networks, something called SETI at home, allowed millions of their devices to process stellar data simultaneously. They have known about the Dominion for quite some time. Gork felt all three of his hearts sink. So this entire mission was a response to our interest in them? Yes, Plex confirmed. The Council believes we may have underestimated humanity. From behind them, Noah's voice piped up. Told you so. Gork turned to find the teenager floating cross-legged in one of the Zorlaxian meditation spheres, apparently having mastered its anti-gravity function. "How long have you been there?" Gork demanded. "Long enough," Noah shrugged. "Your ship's really cool, by the way, especially the food synthesizers. Did you know they can make perfect Earth pizza if you input the right molecular structure?" Gork felt a headache forming in all 7 of his brain clusters. "Don't you have diplomatic duties to attend to?" "Nah, I'm just a tech guy. The actual diplomats are in conference room 3, drafting some kind of interstellar non-aggression pact." Noah floated closer. "Besides, I wanted to show you something." He held out his phone, displaying a screen filled with bizarre images of Gork, his face superimposed on various Earth objects, accompanied by text in different human languages. "What is this? Abomination?" Gork asked, tentacles curling in horror. "Memes, dude. You're famous on Earth now. This one's calling you disappointed alien dad. And this one's when the Wi-Fi drops during your invasion plan. They're getting billions of views." Admiral Plex leaned in, seemingly fascinated. "Remarkable. They're using humor as a social bonding mechanism. The cultural implications are fascinating." "It's not fascinating, it's disrespectful," Gore protested. Noah pocketed his phone. "Actually, it means humans like you. We only meme things we find interesting. You should be honored. You have achieved internet immortality." Before Gore could formulate a suitably outraged response, Lieutenant Kraz hurried into the lounge. "Commander, we have a situation in the engineering bay. The humans have, well, they have improved our quantum drives." "They have what?" Gork nearly choked on his own respiratory fluid. "Improve them," Kraz repeated, looking thoroughly confused. "Dr. Okafor identified an inefficiency in our antimatter containment system, and Professor Takeda suggested a modification. Our engineers implemented it, and, well, we are now operating at 143% of previous maximum efficiency." Noah grinned. "Yeah, we're pretty good at hacking stuff together. You guys overthink everything with your perfect mathematical models. Sometimes you just need to try weird solutions." Admiral Plex's skin began glowing with an excitement pattern Gork hadn't seen in years. "Commander, do you realize what this means? If humans can improve our supposedly perfect technology after just 3 days of exposure, then perhaps they do have something to offer the Dominion." Gork finished reluctantly. "Exactly." Noah clapped him on what approximately passed for shoulder. "And we haven't even shown you our cat videos yet." 1 week later, the Celestial Conqueror remained in Earth orbit, but under very different circumstances. The ship had become the center of a rapidly expanding cultural and technological exchange program. Human scientists came and went daily, while Zorlaxian specialists cautiously explored Earth's major cities, always accompanied by human guides and often large crowds of selfie-seeking onlookers. Commander Gork, much to his own surprise, had become something of a celebrity. His initial broadcast, originally intended to intimidate, had been remixed into popular music, turned into holographic art installations, and even inspired a fashion trend of tentacle-like accessories. He now sat in what humans called a cafe in Paris, tried to maintain his dignity while figuring out how to consume something called a croissant without getting flaky crumbs in his gill slits. Across from him sat Secretary General Zhao, calmly sipping espresso. "The High Council has officially approved the treaty," Gork informed her, giving up on the croissant and setting it aside. "Earth is now classified as an independent allied world rather than a subject planet." "Excellent," Zhao nodded. "And the technology exchange protocols?" "Also approved, though with some restrictions. We are still not comfortable sharing certain biological modification techniques until we better understand human ethical frameworks." Zhao smiled. "Understandable. We have our own reservations about some of your temporal manipulation technologies." A comfortable silence fell between them. Remarkable, considering that just days ago they had been on the brink of interstellar conflict. "I must ask," Gork said finally, his voice lower than usual, "was it all a bluff? Could Noah really have taken control of our ship's systems so completely?" Zhao's smile turned enigmatic. "Let's just say we are fortunate we never had to find out." Before Gork could press further, his communication implant chimed. Admiral Plex's voice filled his consciousness. "Commander, you might want to return to the ship. We have just received a transmission from the Arcturian hegemon. seems they have detected our agreement with Earth and are concerned. Gork sighed. The Arcturians, a species of crystalline entities with superiority complexes that made Zorlaxians look humble by comparison. Tell them I will respond when I return, and warn them that insulting humans is inadvisable. He disconnected and looked at Zhao. Duty calls. The Arcturians are apparently displeased by our alliance. Zhao noded knoangdi. The crystal people Noah mentioned. He said they were, and I quote, definitely compensating for something with those giant diamond ships. Despite himself, Gork laughed a bubbly liquid sound. He's not entirely wrong. Their grand sovereign has 16 titles, all self-bestowed. As they stood to leave, a small commotion erupted at the cafe entrance. A group of humans had recognized Gork and were excitedly taking photos. One bold young woman approached their table. Commander Gork, I'm a huge fan. Would you mind a selfie? My followers will absolutely die. Bemused, Gork agreed, awkwardly positioning his tentacles in what Noah had taught him was a peace sign, while the woman took several photos. Thank you so much. By the way, is it true you're opening an official Zorlaxian TikTok account? A what? Gork looked helplessly at Zhao. Social media, she explained. Moving images, usually accompanied by music. Very popular with younger humans. Ah, Gork nodded as if he understood. I will. Consult with our cultural integration team. After the fan left, Gork and Zhao began walking toward the transport site. The streets of Paris were busy with both humans and the occasional Zorlaxian visitor, the latter drawing curious but increasingly less shocked stares. You know, Gork mused, when we first selected Earth for integration, our cultural analysts predicted it would take at least a decade for humans to become accustomed to our presence. We adapt quickly, Zhao replied, especially to the extraordinary. It's one of our better qualities. Along with your inexplicable obsession with internet connectivity, Gork added dryly. Zhao laughed. Speaking of which, has Noah stopped pestering you about the Wi-Fi password? No, Gork said with what might have been affection. But we have given him something better. Our engineers helped him develop a personal quantum entanglement communicator. It's theoretically impossible for humans to build at their current technology level, but he provided some unexpected insights. That sounds like Noah. Zhao check her watch. The Arcturians won't wait forever. Shall we? As they reached the transport site, Gork paused, looking up at the Parisian sky, where, just visible through the atmosphere, the celestial conqueror hung like an iridescent star. You know, he said thoughtfully, in 17,000 years of Dominion expansion, this is the first time we have been. Meme, consider an honor, Zhao said, stepping onto the transport pad. It means we like you. So Noah explained. Gork replied, joining her. Though I'm still not entirely convinced that Squidward's angry cousin is complimentary. Trust me, Zhao said as the transport beam began to shimmer around them. For humanity, it's practically a declaration of friendship. In the command center of the Celestial Conqueror, Noah sat in Gork's hovering crystalline chair, strictly against protocol, but the crew had given up trying to enforce rules around him, showing Lieutenant Kraz something on his quantum communicator. And this, Noah explained, is what we call a cat video. These small furry creatures are incredibly important to human culture. Kraz watched, fascinated, as a tiny earth animal knocked objects off a shelf with apparent deliberation. But what purpose does this serve? It makes us happy, Noah shrugged. Not everything needs a purpose. Admiral Plex glided over. The commander is returning with Secretary General Zhao. The Arcturians are becoming quite insistent about a response. Noah grinned, spinning in the floating chair. Tell them to chill. Or better yet, ask for their Wi-Fi password. Drive stuffy aliens crazy. Plex's skin patterns formed what Noah had come to recognize as the Zorlaxian equivalent of an eye roll. Your species' obsession with inappropriate humor during serious situations is most perplexing. Yeah, but you like us anyway, Noah replied confidently. Indeed, Plex admitted, his patterns shifting to something warmer. Though the High Council remains bewildered by the entire situation. We came to conquer, and somehow ended up as, what do you call it? Friends, Noah said simply. Or at least frenemies. We will work on the friends part. The transport pad activated, and Gork materialized with Secretary General Zhao. The commander's three eyes immediately locked onto Noah in his chair. That, Gork said pointedly, is a symbolic violation of Dominion authority structure. Yeah, Noah dismissed, reluctantly floating out of the chair. So what's the plan with these Arcturian dudes? Want me to hack their systems too? Absolutely not, Gork and Zhao said simultaneously. The Arcturians, Gork continued, require a more diplomatic approach. Their technology is substantial, but probably has the same legacy system vulnerabilities, Noah muttered, just loud enough to be heard. Gork chose to ignore this. We will establish communication and explain our new alliance with Earth. The Dominion's treaty with your world now explicitly includes mutual defense provisions. Really? Noah looked surprised. You defend Earth against other aliens? Of course, Gork said, as if it were obvious. You are now under Dominion protection. Besides, we have invested considerable resources in this cultural exchange. The pizza synthesizer alone required significant molecular recalibration. Secretary General Zhao stepped forward. Commander, shall we prepare a joint statement for the Arcturians? Excellent idea, Gork agreed. Lieutenant Cross, prepare the communication array. Admiral Plex, inform the High Council of the situation. As everyone moved to their stations, Noah sidled up beside Gork. So, now that we are allies and everything, about that Wi-Fi password, Gork's skin cycled through several frustrated colors before settling on a resigned blue-green. Noah Wells, the Dominion doesn't use Wi-Fi. Our communication systems are based on quantum entanglement principles that would melt your primitive Earth technology. Yeah, but you must have something similar, Noah persisted. Some kind of space internet? Galactic web? Cosmic cloud? For a moment, Gork maintained his stern commander demeanor. Then, to the shock of everyone present, he reached into his environmental suit and extracted a small, glowing crystal. Here, he said, handing it to Noah. This is a Dominion data crystal. It contains access codes to our educational database. Non-classified materials only, he added hastily. Consider it a gesture of goodwill. Noah stared at the crystal in awe. Seriously? This is like alien internet. Something like that, Gork confirmed. Though I expect you to use it responsibly. No memes of Dominion historical figures. No promises. Noah grinned, carefully pocketing the crystal. So, does this mean I finally got the Wi-Fi password? Gork's tentacles twisted in what might have been exasperation, amusement, or some uniquely Zorlaxian combination of both. Yes, Noah Wells. You finally got the Wi-Fi password. And somewhere in the vast, strange universe, the cosmic joke continued. Aliens claim superiority, humans asked for their Wi-Fi password, and somehow, improbably, it worked out just fine for everyone involved.